everyone, Jay with the Ricky Vapor today. How's everyone doing? We're outside today. Sun's shining, looks good. Figured I'd be out here on the bench and got to make up a few things. So wanted to shoot one today. We're going to talk about getting started, starter kits. If you're a smoker and you're looking to get into vaping and you're ready to get off them cigarettes and get rid of the stinkies and everything, this is a good way that I was successful with and my wife was successful with, and I've helped a lot of people stop smoking cigarettes with this particular way of doing it. Now, there's a lot of choices out there. Gosh, there's thousands upon thousands of starter kits out there. Wide range of price ranges, whole lot, and juices. So this is just a few that I've nailed down that's been successful for me, and one of them's been tried and true, actually. It's been 100% successful so far, which I, trial and error, had to find on myself. So anyway, let's look at a few things here, and we'll see how we can stop smoking cigarettes. The first one that we're going to look at is one my wife came up with, and it's called the Me One, or My One. It's a little bitty thing, see? And I'm not going to go into a lot of specs, because to be honest with you, we don't care about that. We want to stop smoking. But it's a little bitty unit, put it in your pocket, even has a little thing you put around your wrist. It's one that actually we got at a vape convention, and it's a nice little unit. It's self-contained, one fire button on it, just one fire button. I think it holds about 4 or 5 milliliters of juice. It's real easy to do. The whole top comes off of it. Cheap unit. You can get these for around $20. There's a car down the road. Sorry about that, guys. Around $20, and they come in a multitude of different colors. My wife really liked that one there. And it's a cool unit. I'll take it out, throw it in my pocket, and go out if I want to. Now, this here has a pretty tight draw. When I say tight draw, that means you feel restriction when you're pulling on it. For a new vapor that's just stopping cigarettes, this one here was a pretty good choice, because one of the things that I had to get used to when I stopped smoking and was going to vaping is going between what they call mouth to lung, or, you know, pulling on a cigarette. You know how you pull it in your mouth and then you inhale it and blow it out. We were all used to doing that. We weren't used to direct lung, what they call direct lung, where you're just pulling straight on it and pulling straight in it, just like this one here. I'll show you. This is my, direct to lung. Just pulling straight into it. That was one thing that I had to overcome, and I have noticed that's a lot of things like that a lot of people have had to overcome. So that was different for me. So I had to get used to that, and that would sometimes cause me to choke and cough. So I had to get used to that and everything. So that's something to think about. So you can do that with this one, and it's got an airflow adjustment on it. The Me One, gosh, you can look them up on the internet. I'll put some links in the description on how to find them. They're around 20 bucks, you know. They're very, very inexpensive. You figure the price of a pack of cigarettes is between $5 and $8. So 2 or 3 packs of cigarettes, you could have bought one of these things. So anyway, that's one device that you can use to start. Now, when you're starting to vape and you're still smoking cigarettes, don't look for an aha moment, because you're not going to get it, okay? It ain't going to happen. You're going to have to work through this and really push through on it. I still smoked a little bit after I started vaping. So it took a little bit. So, you know, don't get discouraged. And we'll talk about flavors of juices in a minute, because that's another thing that's important when you're stopping smoking cigarettes. Another one this one is made by Eleaf. It's called the ijusts. Now, this is a different tank on it. I'm sorry. I had lent my other ijusts tank, but it's similar to this and about the same thing. these little stick mods, you'll see a lot of them around, and even more now. They put the big tanks on them and everything. But for somebody starting up, this is a wonderful unit. It has a long life battery. I still use this one sometimes, by the way. And it has really been a good device. It's made by Eleaf, which I have found their quality to be really good. Now, some people will balk on that, but I really like Eleaf, and I think they're a good company myself. But this is a good unit. One button, no settings. It'll last you all day. You can charge it and vape at the same time. 3,000 milliamp hour battery. The tank that comes with it is the ijusts tank, Eleaf tank. It's basically a big version of the Milo Mini, and we'll talk about that one later. But really good device, you know, and it's got a little weight to it because of the battery, but it's made heavy duty, okay? It's not like some of the other stick mods that are out there. And I've come to really like this particular one, and I have used this one several times with people that are wanting to get into vape and start, you know, vaping, and this has been an easy one here. Tried and true, holds a lot of liquid for the size it is, and it works great for traveling. So I really like this one here a lot, and I still keep it around and use it for traveling and everything. So that's a good one, the Eleaf ijusts. And this one here you can get for around $20 to $25 now also. Now, both of these devices I just showed you have been out for a while. I don't know, the ijusts, I guess maybe it's been out 2 years. So I want to comment on that. Just because a device has been out a couple of years doesn't mean it's not a top-notch device that's tried and true that you can get that will perform really good for you. So, you know, don't necessarily have to have the newest and greatest, latest thing out. So the ijusts by Eleaf is another good choice that I recommend for someone wanting to start. There's a few other pen or stick mods that they call them out. I think Smoke makes one. I don't recommend those. I've got a couple of those. And to be honest with you, the quality is low. The battery life is low, and they really put more tank on it and coils on it than what it's capable of doing at any length of time. And you don't really get any more vapor out of it or flavor. You really don't. So I'm not a big fan of the smoke stick mods at all. I've got several, and they just haven't performed very well, and they're cheap made. All smoke products are cheap made if you ever look at the quality of them. That's why you see them everywhere, and they make an abundance of them, but not a high quality unit. The next one actually has been my favorite when it comes to getting someone to start vaping and stop smoking cigarettes. And this one is the Eleaf Pico. Now this unit here has a removable battery. It's a little different. And it has a display. Let's see if we can see that. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there we go. Has a display so you can read your wattage. Has wattage adjustment on the bottom. Not going to go into a lot of specifications, guys. This has been a wonderful unit. It's been out a couple of years. They make a variety of colors. This was actually my wife's. She got the hot pink one, and she also got a white and copper one that she still uses today and keeps in her vape bag and takes along for trips. And this one here has probably been my favorite when it comes to starter kits for someone starting. Now, there's a little more to it. Don't worry about being scared of it. It's really, really easy. It does take an external battery. I'm going to take that out real quick. It takes an external 18650 battery. You can get these kits now. I have found them across the board on the internet for $25. It is a sub-ohm tank, okay? When I mean that, it means it has lower resistance in the coil and will produce more vapor. I think the liquid capacity on it is 5 milliliters, if I remember correctly. It has a charging port, so you can charge it just like your Android phone. Really well made unit, really well made unit. Comes with some accessories when you buy it. Comes with 2 extra coils. The best coil I have found for everyone that I start on this kit here is the .05 coil. It is a really wonderful, wonderful coil that lasts a really long time. You can change the drip tips out if you're into fancying up your your unit and everything. But this one here by Eleaf also, it's really well made too. You see the screws, how thick the stainless steel is. It's a really well made unit. The only drawback to this one versus the others is you will have to get a battery. I recommend getting 2 batteries, and you can pick up a good 18650 now for $5. So get you 2 batteries and a charger. You can get a little single charger, plug into a wall or in your car, and that way you always got a battery, because that's an upside to this, because once this one's drained down, yes, you can plug into it and you can vape on it, but the battery's dead. You're going to have to leave it plugged up. Where on this one, change your battery out, stick your rundown battery in the charger, you're good to go. Back up and running. This has been the most successful unit I have ever used starting someone that's trying to stop smoking. You can adjust the wattage to where you can adjust how much vapor. It has an airflow adjustment where you can do mouth to lung or direct to lung, either one. It does both wonderful. And like I say, you can get this unit now for around $25. There's a endless number of colors. They even made some military versions of these out with military logos like Marine Corps, Navy. I saw an Army one, Air Force, a lot of different things. And there's covers you can get for these that are really cool, real cheap on eBay. So I actually, for the money, if you're looking to start up at about $35, you can get one of these. You can pick you up a couple of batteries. Now, you can charge it in the port, and it does come with the cord where you can charge it. You can just charge it in this. A lot of people say not to, and I'm not a big fan of charging in those either, but the Pico's fine. You can charge in this all day long, and it's no problem. Now, it has other features in the menu when you're coming to look at doing some other things. It is a 75 watt unit, so it's got plenty of power if you decide to upgrade the tank on it. Now, it does have a 22 millimeter tank, so you have to stay in that because of the battery cap. But it also does temperature control, and we're not ever going to get into temperature control. I have done temperature control on this, by the way, and it does a fantastic job with stainless steel coils, but forget I even said that, okay, because that's not what we're about. We're talking about regular vaping, getting off cigarettes. So I highly recommend the Pico. It's been around several years. It's tried and true. You can just keep using it for years on end, okay, for the everyday vapor. It's a wonderful unit, you know. Highly recommend. So that's 3 starter kits that I wanted to show you, and I think that are good choices for someone that's wanting to look to get into vaping, and you're still on the cigarettes and you're wanting to get off of them. I think that's 3 that work really well. You still get them. They've been out a while, which means you can get them a little cheaper now, and they're good quality, and you don't have to get the latest and greatest thing. So next, what I want to talk about is juice, e-liquid juice. That is probably the most confusing thing when it comes to first starting and you're smoking cigarettes. I know when I first started, the first thing I thought of is I wanted to get a juice that replicated the cigarette that I was smoking. I smoked Marlboro Reds. So first thing I got was a e-juice that was made by V2, and it was called Red. That was the name of it, and it was a horrible juice. I found out it didn't take me but about, there's Miss Robin across the street, I know way better. I thought I wanted to replicate cigarettes in my devices. Well, I found out early on that is not what I wanted to do at all. And so the next thing that I had to kind of experiment around with some of the juices that were out there. Now, I didn't know much about it, and still there were the big 30 to 60 ml bottles available. You couldn't buy the little bitty ones yet, or at least I couldn't find them. And so what I did is I finally landed on a coffee flavor that was a big hit with me when I was trying to stop cigarettes. Now, when you're picking out a juice, you might have to buy several different kinds and kind of bounce around on them and see what does it for you. Okay, that was one of the biggest mistakes I made, and that's a mistake that I've seen a lot of people make when they're trying to stop smoking. You got to find the right device. You got to find the right juice, or it's not going to work for you. Plain and simple. That's it. So with the juice, you're going to have to kind of bounce around on it. You know, there were some that I thought I would never like, ever. I just didn't want anything to do with them. Come to find out I actually liked them a lot. One of the ones that took me about 3 or 4 months to find that I liked, that really worked the best for me, was cheesecake. Now, cheesecake seemed to be something that kind of I liked in my mouth, and it tasted good. And I thought, oh, okay, this one here. So you might have to do that. So there's fruits, there's desserts, there are some tobacco flavors, you know, menthols. So there's a lot to look at out there when it comes to juices. So don't be closed-minded when it comes to wanting to try different juices when you're just now starting to vape and you're still smoking cigarettes. But I do recommend not only trying tobacco ones, because that did not work for me at all. And that I was closed-minded about it, and I thought, well, I just want to replace smoking cigarettes, so I'm going to try tobacco. Didn't work. Okay, so just remember that. It might for you, but it didn't for me, and it hasn't for most people that I've helped start getting into vaping, you know. So the next thing I want to talk about is how much nicotine. You know, I've heard so much stuff talked about when it comes to starting vaping, and you're looking at nicotine. How much nicotine is in a damn cigarette? Who knows? You know, what I did, and this was a mistake, when I first started, I started on a 24 milligram nicotine e-juice. Gave me headaches, made me feel bad. It was not a good experience at all. So I don't recommend that one. What I have determined, and this is what I have found out by working with other people, and my wife, by the way, because she went on and smoked about 8 or 9 months after I had stopped and was vaping. I found 12 milligram to be the happy spot to start vaping in if you're smoking cigarettes. That seems to have been the best place to start. Okay, now they make 18. You can go up to 18 if you want. But that seems to have been the best place, and I've had, oh gosh, it's countless now. I couldn't even think how many people I've started on it, but you know, that seemed to be the best place to start, and then you can wean down from there. I'm down to 3 on some of them. Some of them I vape are 0. It doesn't have to have any in it. But I believe 12 will give you the right amount of nicotine if you're smoking cigarettes to keep you out of the jitters. You know, that jitter when you want a cigarette. That seems to have worked the best for me. And, well, I didn't start out at first, but later on I did. But everybody that I work with on that. So I think 12 is probably the best to start with on that. And then wean yourself down on it. And so anyway, that's some stuff I wanted to go over. So this is kind of my break-in video of starter kits. It doesn't have to be the newest, greatest, latest thing. There's a multitude of them out there. The equipment's been around for a while now, so you can get some really nice equipment at an inexpensive price. I've got several companies that I deal with on clearance equipment and things like that, and that's what I search for. I shop around for clearance and special sales and stuff like that, you know, because I don't have to have the newest, greatest, latest thing out, you know, just vaping. You know, just vaping. That's what I want to be satisfied in. You know, so I hope this helped y'all to get started. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments. If you want to know about certain equipment and everything, just let me know. So I will post something in the links below and on how to look up the different stuff I've talked about today and everything. So we will try it for the next time. Okay? See you then. Bye-bye.